Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Almost a new day on the horizon. Almost Friday. 2 minutes till the hour. Someone wanted me to do this video, and I was debating on what I really wanted to talk about this evening, so I decided I'd go ahead with this said commentary. The funk factor. When do you tell somebody that they smell? Stranger, passerby, neighbor, relative, lover, spouse, child. Or do you just turn your nose up and say to hell with it? They ass stink. I ain't worried about it. I went to the grocery store late this evening because I was craving a pizza. So I got a store-bought pizza. And as I'm checking out, or I've already checked out, I'm walking out of the store. I don't know. It must be funky week. Because first the mall this week. And then Kroger. Damn, 3 of y'all stink tonight coming out of the damn grocery store. Coming out of the self-checkout, the guy in front of me, he stunk. So I just said, okay, push my buggy past him, go out, I smell somebody else. Then somebody else, all men. And I thought, damn, did everybody have a rough day at work? So what do these people do for work that they smell this bad at 9 o'clock in the evening? What's really going on? What you eat affects your body odor. Your hygiene practices, how you live will affect, your hygiene. And also genetics, chemical imbalances, all of the above. Do you continue to say nothing to people who you're around regularly, such as coworkers, family, friends, lovers, children? Do you just say nothing and just deal with it? What in the hell is going on? You're welcome, dear. I don't know how to pronounce your name. If it's Siani or Shiani, this is this person's subject for this evening. Why do people smell? Why do we have body odors, period? Why couldn't we just smell like a bed of roses? Well, obviously, we weren't designed that way. Some of us have smelly bodies, feet, underarms, private parts. And you can stink from sneezing, for those that didn't know. Opening your mouth smells, oral hygiene, cause you to have bad breath. You have to brush your tongue. Some of us didn't even know that we had to brush our tongues growing up. We just thought we brush our teeth, our gums. No, you got to brush your tongue. That's where the odor lies. Stomach issues will cause you to have a bad breath. When do you say something? Relationships. Are we attracted to funky people? Some guys like an old musty ass gal. Shut up, Queen. Some ladies like a musky ass man. Queen is funny about odors because I don't like body odors. I don't like sitting in public seats. It's a pet peeve of mine. I don't want to sit in your car. I don't want to sit on your furniture. I don't want to sit at the doctor's office. I don't want to sit in anybody's chair in a public space. I'm very funny about my bum. I washed my bum before I went to where I went. So therefore, I put on clean underwear and a clean trousers or skirt or dress. That means I don't want my seat of my pants smelling like your funky ass. You just sat there. Yeah, Queen's real funny about that. My sheets, my linen, funny about that as well. I don't like body odors on my sheets, pillowcases. We've had this discussion before. Queen's a funny duck. She don't like body odors. And it's not to say I won't sweat or smell, but it's mine. It's different. Let's get this party started. Thanks for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I've been bringing you different commentary pertaining to body odors, causes, people who have body odors giving their testimony. Thanks for joining me. Thank one of the people in the chat. This is their topic. Siani, Shiani. Thank you all so much. Stars with the worst personal hygiene.
Rich and famous Chances are you have no problem affording things like soap, shampoo, and deodorant, right? You can even hire professionals to bathe you. Unfortunately, not all celebs appreciate those perks. Here are some stars with the worst personal hygiene. Gwyneth Paltrow. Remember how actress Gwyneth Paltrow swore off ever going to the Met Gala again in 2013? The Oscar winner complained that the scene was too hot and sweaty for her. But it turns out it was probably an even worse experience for anyone who stood next to her. An insider told the National Enquirer, "Poor Gwyneth looked picture perfect, but it must have been the hot lights that caused her to be a little strong on the nose. It was pretty pungent, and I don't think she had a clue. I saw at least 2 people wave their hands in front of their noses after passing her." A friend of the actress made an excuse for her, telling the tab, "Gwyneth has heard that aluminum is supposedly carcinogenic, and that putting an aluminum-based deodorant directly on those sensitive armpit glands can increase the chances of breast cancer. She's trying out new deodorants. She's bound to fail with some of them, but Gwyneth tells pals she'd rather be smelly than dead." Russell Crowe. The late, great Joan Rivers once said of Russell Crowe, quote, "He has a body odor problem. I prefer to sit downwind of him at award shows." And insiders told the National Enquirer that after repeated pleas for better hygiene on the set of boxing drama Cinderella Man, co-star Renee Zellweger insisted upon a body double for anything intimate. One of Crowe's buddies justified the actor's odor. "Russell is just an ordinary bloke, and he certainly doesn't have a hygiene problem. If you stand really close to him, you may catch the occasional whiff of alcohol and curry after a night on the town. But you show me a normal, down-to-earth bloke who isn't like that the morning after he's had a few beers and some good grub." Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
All wrong. Matthew McConaughey told people that he hasn't worn deodorant in 20 years. "I don't like to smell like someone or something else. If my smell starts to bother someone else, I'll take a shower." One person it bothered, his romantic co-star in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Kate Hudson. McConaughey told Playboy, "She always brings a salt rock, which is some natural deodorant, and says, 'Will you please put this on?' Really only one appropriate answer to that." Julia Roberts. Actress Julia Roberts told Oprah in 2008, "I don't actually use deodorant. It's just never been my thing." Apparently, soap isn't her thing either. A former security guard for Roberts told Star, quote, "Julia is a total hippie. She'll go days without showering. She likes to save water. She's really green. And she likes the smell of her natural oils. She also says that she can't wash her hair too often because it's so dry. She may have a point there, but she often gets musty." Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. They may not be together anymore, but Johnny Depp and his ex, singer Vanessa Paradis, once saw eye to eye about one thing: the pointlessness of bathing. A source told Fox News, "Johnny usually smells because he rarely showers. He isn't big on personal cleanliness, and Vanessa isn't much different. They found their perfect match in each other. It's hard to be around them. Their personal hygiene is not their priority." Ick. Robert Pattinson. He may have cleaned up some recently, but at his Twilight Saga peak, Robert Pattinson reportedly reeked. When Extra asked the actor about rumors that he hadn't shampooed for 6 weeks, he admitted it was true.
I don't see the point of washing your hair. Like, unless it's like
to be clean, maybe?
I mean, but like, if you don't care if your hair's clean or not, then why would you wash it?
Some people can pull off a filthy scalp and get away with it, but an anonymous crew member on the Twilight films told MTV News that Pattinson isn't one of them. He stinks. I mean, it's awful. He never showers, and it drives people on the set crazy. Shia LaBeouf. Notoriously quirky method actor Shia LaBeouf was so dedicated to his character in Fury that he went to particularly gross lengths to relate to the World War II soldier. A source told the Daily Mail he pulled out his own tooth during the first few weeks of filming, and then refused to shower for weeks on end so he could better understand how his character would have felt living in the trenches. Then again, he might just be filthy. Dance Mom star Maddie Ziegler, who co-starred with the actor in Sia's Elastic Heart music video in early 2015, told Entertainment Tonight that she gave the actor wipes, telling him, "I'm sorry, but you're kind of dirty." Oh, Maddie, you shouldn't have to apologize for stinky Shia. Thanks for watching. Click the Nikki Swift icon to subscribe to our YouTube.
All right. That's another Tubers commentary. Let's get into it. Thanks for joining me. Everyday Shenanigans. I've got several things lined up to show you. Enlighten you about body odors. The next is by the list. What your body odor reveals about your health. Thanks for joining me.
About your health. It can tell you if your personal hygiene is a bit off, if you're ingesting something you shouldn't, and can even be a marker for certain diseases. No need to panic, however. The best thing to do is be informed, and if you have a smell on you, or coming out of you, that's a bit iffy, get yourself to the doctor. Here are some of the most common body odors and what they could mean about your health. Consistent bad breath. Nobody wants halitosis, the term Listerine invented for bad breath. But while the word may have been a made-up marketing ploy, bad breath is real and it stinks. People who spend lots of time worrying about it buy gum, mints, breath spray, and more to combat it. But if you have consistently bad breath, it could be a sign of something more than just a bad breakfast choice. Research says that in 90% of cases of people who have consistently bad breath, the cause comes from the oral cavity, better known as your mouth. This can be because of bacterial buildup on the tongue, or actual tooth decay can cause a bad smell. And when people have poor oral hygiene or a propensity for it, they develop gingivitis and periodontitis. So unless you want this to happen in the next staff meeting,
you have bad breath caused by gingivitis.
Remember to brush and floss regularly, avoid tobacco, and see a dentist twice per year for cleanings and to check the health of your gums. If none of that helps, the smell might be coming from sinus issues or even from gastrointestinal problems. When in doubt, have a doctor check it out. Sweet breath. If your breath is sweet, you could have a different problem altogether.
Hold on, homie.
Can I at least smell your breath?
Fruity smelling breath can be a sign of diabetic ketoacidosis, a condition that occurs when the body's unable to break down glucose as fuel because of a lack of insulin. The body uses fat as fuel instead, which releases ketones into the bloodstream. High levels of ketones are dangerous and life-threatening. Have your doctor check your sugar and insulin levels to make sure you're not diabetic. It's worth noting that another sign of diabetes is sweet-smelling sweat. Some people report a maple syrupy smell because there's actually sugar that builds up on the skin. If your breath is sweet and kind of musty, it's a bad sign that you could have liver problems. Doctors are now using breath analysis to try to detect liver problems. If you have this symptom, schedule a liver test with your doctor to make sure you're in the clear. Sour or rancid sweat. Everyone knows that some body odor is normal, especially after a slackening of ordinary hygiene routines.
I haven't taken a shower since we got here.
I know you stink. I love it.
If your body odor is worse than usual, you could be due for a change in your diet, or your hormones might have something to do with it. Drink plenty of water to avoid this embarrassing issue, and see your doctor if you start having night sweats for no reason. That may be a sign of infection or disease. Also, if you start sweating way more than normal with no clear reason, this might be an indicator of hyperthyroidism. And if you start to smell bleachy, you should really get a medical opinion immediately, because that could be an indication of a liver or kidney problem. Foul urine odor. Urine usually has no scent, and when it does, it's usually a bit ammonia-like. If it has a stronger smell, the top culprit is dehydration. Drink lots of water, and it'll clear right up. However, if your urine smells even more like ammonia than usual, or it smells sort of sickly sweet, you could be getting a urinary tract infection. This will be accompanied by discomfort when you urinate, so get to a doctor right away to get an antibiotic. Speaking of which, having some amount of genital discharge is normal, but when it's accompanied by a smell, it's time to go to the doctor. Yeast infections, sexually transmitted diseases, and other infections like bacterial vaginosis can all cause smells down there, and all require a doctor for treatment. Of course, there are some nether region battles that affect everyone. Unusually foul-smelling flatulence. Everybody has flatulence. It's a normal part of digestion. In fact, most people pass gas 10 to 20 times every day. It never smells great, but if it's particularly foul, you could be facing a digestive absorption issue, lactose intolerance, or even a bacteria or virus in your gut.
Well, milk in the taters, milk in the gravy, Parmesan crust. Your lactose intolerant boyfriend will turn into a gas-filled Macy's Day balloon.
So if the foulness becomes unidentifiable and intolerable, it's probably best to rule out any potential digestive problems, just in case. Fishy odor. If someone smells like fish all the time, it's likely they have fish odor syndrome or trimethylaminuria. Yes, this is a real thing. It's rare, but there is a genetic condition that makes people smell like rotting fish. It might not affect a lot of people, but when someone does suffer this off-putting condition, it tends to take a major toll on their social and romantic lives. Know what's normal. We can't smell like fresh flowers or soap all the time. Even healthy bodies can smell a little funky sometimes.
You're a fat loser and you have body odor.
All right.
Our natural pheromones are part of what makes us who we are. However, if you have body odors that concern you, it's a good idea to see a doctor. There's a fine line between your natural stink and a health problem that is displayed with a particular odor. The good news is that your nose knows the difference between what's ordinary and what's not. Thanks for watching. Click the list icon to subscribe to our YouTube.
All right. That's information pertaining to body odors. What can be the cause of body odors? All right. This is from the doctors. What causes chronic fishy body odor? Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is Everyday Shenanigans.
Body smells, but what if you had a fishy scent that just won't go away?
We've all had our fair share of bad body odor at some point in time, but a quick trip to the shower usually gets us back to smelling like a rose. But what if you couldn't wash off your bad BO? What if you smelled like rotten fish, or trash, or even feces? Well, if that were the case, there's a slight chance you just might be afflicted with a genetic metabolic condition that could leave you depressed and even socially isolated.
Can you imagine?
No,
If you had
I'm
somebody,
here
you
thinking
can
about it.
walk up and somebody goes, "Oh no, it's the fish."
We joke, but this is a very serious thing. There was we tried to get patients on here. There was a lady that that wouldn't do it because of her anonymity. Had to move out of town because people started mocking her on Facebook.
It's
So,
unfortunate.
yeah.
That's why we've turned things a little more serious here briefly, because imagine this is a can of sardines. Has anyone ever smelled a can of sardines?
Oh yes.
Pretty putrid. It's pretty strong, pretty pungent. But imagine if that's the body odor you gave off each and every day. It's actually it's an unfortunate thing, because tell us about this condition.
Well, there's a condition where you don't get rid of the natural metabolites that your body makes. Every day your body breaks down, what you eat and your own protein, and it's supposed to basically neutralize that so it doesn't smell. Well, some people have an enzyme deficiency, and this condition is called trimethylaminuria. So basically, amino acids that you're supposed to break down, they can stink a lot. Protein can stink.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So these people have an enzyme deficiency of an enzyme. So these amino acids, right,
Starting to get here. Yeah.
stay in their body, or these breakdown products, and it comes out of their pores, it comes out of their urine, and there isn't much that you can do.
Yeah, you can't wash it away because your body's continually producing these metabolites. And it's like a can of sardines. You want to reflexively push it away from you, but of course it's different when you're starting to talk about human beings.
Right, and that's a condition, but they're also, now, ladies, if anybody tells you you smell like a fish, there also is bacterial vaginosis. Now that has
That's
a
different.
particular fishy odor because it's a bacteria, and a lot of times we'll do a test, what we call the whiff test.
Right.
And we'll put a special preparation on there, and that'll give a fishy odor, and we'll know that it's bacteria and not yeast.
That's one of my
genetic
that's one of
problem.
my least favorite tests in medicine.
Yeah, sure.
Because you
It's
do
very strong, yes.
Add
You
prep,
know
and then it's
right
just one of
away.
these
Yeah.
positive.
That's why it has the name the whiff test.
Try to stay cool.
It's the whiff test.
I think she's
the
got it.
difference there is the genetic problem we're talking about is it's coming from your whole
And you
body.
can't
not
stop
just
it,
one area.
right.
And oftentimes this might get diagnosed in childhood when the moms are kind of noticing an odor in the child way too young.
Right. And sometimes, like especially in women, you don't notice it until they go through menopause or you start menstruating.
Right, because that's
of that
sort
stress.
of, it
Right.
brings
But
it
you
out.
can adjust your diet, right?
I was going to say that.
The
Yeah, you
metabolites.
almost have to go total vegan because you have to get rid of almost every protein. You have to get rid of meats, legumes, and certain things like cauliflower. And it isn't just a fishy smell, because sometimes it smells just like feces or different odors.
I guess other things to help something like that would be frequent washing, and I guess you'd have to experiment what neutralizes your particular scent most effective.
Right. It's worth a try. You just need to see your physician, at least know it.
And that's where we move from the realm of, we have a lot of fun on the show, but we have moved from the realm of people who just have stinky body problems that are very natural. And almost all of them are natural. But when you start to experience a smell that is unexplainable, that won't go away, that's when you go ahead and book the appointment with your healthcare provider to look into potential other causes that are actually treatable.
All right, that's the doctors. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Testing the waters of this. Oh, wow. Learn something new every day. My goodness. All right, I'm going in the queue. Trying to bring you all the said information. 7 foods that can cause body odor. Health Magazine is the source. Thanks for joining me. Garlic. Chewing garlic unleashes enzymes. Allicin releases sulfur-containing compounds that come out in your breath, urine, and sweat. Onion. Onions are also broken down by the body into smelly sulfur compounds that stink up your breath, urine, and sweat. Cruciferous veggies. Vegetables like cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts also contain stinky sulfur. They're rich in vitamins and minerals, though, so you shouldn't stop eating them. Meat. One study asked women to smell samples of men's body odor after 2 weeks eating meat versus vegetarian diets. The women ranked the body odor of vegetarian men as more attractive, more pleasant, and less intense. 5, alcohol. Compounds produced as your body breaks down alcohol can exit through your breath and your sweat. 1 or 2 glasses of wine probably won't make you stink, but overdoing it could. 6, fish. A disorder called, I can't pronounce it, prevents the breakdown of certain proteins, including one called trimethylane. Eating foods like fish, eggs, secreting urine, breath, and sweat. The resulting smell can be fishy or smell like rotting eggs or garbage. 7, asparagus. The green veg is famous for changing the smell of your pee, but not everyone smells it. Most people produce the stinky chemicals as their bodies break down asparagus and pee them out. But 8% of them don't, 6% of them can't smell it. They don't have the receptors in their noses. Lucky for them. Those are the 7 foods. Thanks for joining me. My last video is from this morning. After this video, I'll drop the link. You give your story of bad body odor, dating somebody with bad body odor. You like somebody with bad body odor. Did you drop them after first meeting them? Or did you continue dating them? Are you with somebody now that stinks? Their feet stink, butt stink, private parts stink, underarms stink, they stink, hair stink, won't wash their hair, won't bathe often. I'll drop the link and share your story. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me.
I know helped you with your the diagnosis with your condition. This is her in 2014, I think it was, when she came in to discuss it. You had no idea, much like her, no idea what this was. When do you think you were first aware of it?
As a child, I used to suffer from urinary tract infections. I've got a slightly wonky kidney, which was causing issues there. So my mum was noticing sort of a fishy odour even back then, but we put it down to that. But as sort of time's gone on and now I've got my diagnosis, there's so many things that I'm thinking now.
Was it to do that? Yeah.
So I can't really say definitely there was a time when I thought,
it was that moment, but really tough for you. I mean, kids can be cruel at school at the best of times. So if you've got something like this, was school tough?
I wasn't the sort of kid that really fitted in anyway. If I had a chance to get up on stage and do something daft just to make other people laugh, that was me.
Right, okay.
And I was just really sort of anxious. Because it did crop up quite a bit at school.
And what did people say to you?
It was questions like, oh, you smell a fish today, Kel. And it's like, oh, I've had fish paste sandwiches for my lunch.
You make it up to cover it.
Yeah. And it was just, or sort of, oh, have you been eating onions? And I'm like, no.
Oh, what about
here?
as you got older, sort of teenage years, that sort of thing?
As I sort of moved on to sixth form college and at university, it didn't really cause that much of a problem. I think I was a happier individual in myself.
Stress can help, can cause a little bit, can't it?
Yeah.
It can make it just a little worse.
The more stress you're under, whether it be physical or mental, it can actually really exacerbate it. It can make it a lot worse.
And we should point out at this point that this is nothing to do with personal hygiene in any case whatsoever.
No.
In fact, that makes it worse because you did go through phases of excessive showering.
Oh, ridiculous amounts of showering. And I think one of the problems was I was using a very strong body wash with eucalyptus and mint in it. And I'm not sure you can imagine combining that smell with onions and fish. And I can imagine it was quite uncomfortable for my colleagues at work.
Well, it's
close quarters.
It's not there every day, and it is genetic. And so it's the way your body copes with proteins and enzymes and breaks things down.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing you can do about it. And you mentioned work. They've been really helpful, haven't they? I think one of the papers got it wrong and said because you're a radiographer in Oldham at the hospital.
Yeah.
And one of the papers said that you've been moved to the nights, but that's not the case.
I made the decision to go on to nights because at the time it was before my diagnosis, and I was really uncomfortable because I felt like I was making other people uncomfortable. Nobody turned around to me and said, you must go on nights, you've got to go and do this, that or the other. That was never said. It was a decision I made to make me happier.
And so, Michael, what's it like for you? Because you two met online originally, and so you started chatting online, met up for a first date. Did you notice it to begin with? What was that like?
I honestly didn't notice it to begin with. No, it came as a bit of a surprise to me. When we first started seeing each other, I sort of caught a little bit of a whiff of it, but it was more sort of. It didn't seem strange to me at all.
Right. Okay.
It's sort of.
And it must be painful for you, sort of when she gets upset or comes home from work, or somebody said something, or just those moments. It must be difficult for you because you love her so much to see her going through that pain.
Very difficult. Yeah. It makes me not angry. That's a bit too strong a word, but it does upset me a little bit. Yeah.
Well, people immediately jump to conclusions they don't understand.
Yeah.
And I suppose really because there are so few people in the world with this, it's not something that we see or hear of very often. And as I said, it was actually Ellie James on April the 8th in 2014. She came on this show as an article that was written off the back of that interview that made you think, oh my goodness me, this could very well be what I have.
Yeah, definitely. There was several other things as well on the internet, and the more I researched about it, the more I thought, well, it's not just a fishy odour, it can be various other odours, and it isn't all the time. There are some people it does affect them 24/7, and that must be an absolute nightmare for them. I'm lucky in the sense that as far as I know it doesn't affect me 24/7. But it did make getting the diagnosis that little bit more complicated.
And you can't cure it, but you can control it slightly when it comes to foods. There are certain foods that will trigger it more.
Yeah. Anything that's high in a chemical called choline. But I was even reading up on that recently, and that's not always a surefire thing. You could cut the majority of choline out of your diet and still produce the smell, and it's a really hard diet. I tried doing it for a week to cut pretty much everything out, and I was, you get to 36 and you've developed your eating habits by that point, and it's hard.
Well,
thank you for
coming here and talking about it once more.
Someone else
people know about it. You might help someone else the way Ellie did you. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely amazed by the amount of response that I've had. It's been awesome.
Thank you both. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. That's this morning. I guess it's a British TV program or foreign program. Thank you so much for joining me. So as you see, this young lady has a mate. He looked a little older than she, but he liked her, content with her. Said he noticed a little bit of a whiff, but didn't dwell on it. obviously he liked her, despite the body odor and disorder that she has. I'm going to share a story with you, then I'm going to drop the link, and feel free to hit the link to give a story, a testament to body odor, your own or somebody else's, how you tolerated, dealt with it, your preferences. When I was in college, I had befriended some young women that lived in a dorm near me. I believe two of the women were from Chattanooga and the other one was from Memphis. And I was more cool with the one from Memphis. And I just remember we would all meet up, occasionally for festivities, things going on campus. And one of the young women that was from Memphis, she was a shorter, heavyset Black female. She had the worst body odor I think I have ever smelled on a female to date. It was just, there are no words to describe the stench. I kept telling myself, how and why could an odor come out of a human that bad? And so the young lady who I was cool with, who was their roommate, because they had I think it was 3 of them that shared a room together, I think it was. She was like, oh, she has some type of disorder. I can't remember the name or what it was. But when she explained it to me, I listened and, I tried to digest, what she was telling me. But what you have to think of is the obvious. You have to be around people. You're in a room, sharing a dorm room with other females who don't have such a strong body odor. You can imagine that entire odor had the entire room smelling. So what you have to always think about is, whether you like the person or not, they are infiltrating your room with the body odor. So naturally, if that odor is so strong that you can smell it as soon as you walk in, that means other items in the room is also going to have that smell. And you're going to carry that smell around with you, even though you aren't the one carrying the odor, but you're in the room with the odor while you're staying in the room, living in the dorm room. Apartments, all the same. So I always wondered, how did they think they smell when they come out? Because you're carrying that odor out with you because you're in that room with that female. And I felt bad for her because it was like no female or a male, but no female should ever smell as bad as that. It just smelled like, I'm just going to say it, stinking butt crack. It was rank. And I just told myself, she really needs to, at that time, let's say, be on some type of medicine or something. Maybe she was. I didn't get into her business to find out. But my thing is, she needed a doctor and meds, because the odor was that bad. Trust me, you knew it was her. It wasn't even a matter of you trying to figure it out. Because once she came near you, there was no trying to figure out who smelled, where the smell was coming from. You knew it was her. And I just told myself, how in the world can you live like that? You're around young people. You're sitting up under young people. You're going to functions with each other. People can smell it. Dating. Don't you want to date? How are you going to date smelling that bad? But we do know that people have body odors, whether it be genetic or some type of disorder. They still get a mate some type of way. They get a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, whatever. Boyfriend, it's all the same. They get somebody. And we've seen this with people who we've been around that smell so terrible, be it they got some type of disorder or they just have poor hygiene and won't bathe. As you heard about the movie stars, they chose not to bathe. So imagine somebody don't have a disorder and they're just choosing not to wash their damn hair, take a shower daily, don't wipe properly after going to the restroom. You know what I mean? Just funky as hell because they want to be. There's still somebody that will lie up with them, smell them originally, naturally, and still go around them, still hang with them, still mate with them, and God forbid, play house with them, make children with them. And you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, did you not just smell this person? They stink. They stink all the time. Not they were out there running on the track exercising, worked hard all day, had a body odor. No, they smell like that all the time. Take a shower, you still got a funky odor. And there's somebody I know to this day, their mother had the worst foot odor. And I never could understand that. Both of them had kind of like a little funky smell about them. The friend would take a shower, but when she come out of the shower, she still had an odor. And I noticed the mother had the smelliest feet. And I always would say to myself, how do these women smell like this? You take a shower and you still have a body odor. The mother takes a shower, her feet still stinks. And a lot of people don't wash their feet in the shower. I know a lot of men don't. They'll go in and take a shower, wash their private parts, wash their face, but they will not bend down and lift them hooves up and put some soap and water between your damn toes. You have to wash between your toes. Yes, adults. You have to pick up your big foot and put a washcloth with soapy water between your funky feet. You cannot just wash your body and don't wash your feet. Same thing with brushing your teeth, gums, flossing. It's all the same. And flossing is gross. It is, going in with a string, pulling out particles, but it needs to be done in order to preserve your gums. Brushing your tongue. That's where the odor is, on your tongue. Also your stomach. Your bowels will give you a horrible smell on your breath, depending on if you're having a stomach odor or, a virus, or you're sick, or, as they said, some other type of disease or problems. Then the foods you eat will cause you to smell, especially when you go to the bathroom. Garlic comes out in your pores. I love garlic, but it comes out in your pores. I do like onions too. But I always remember, if I'm going out for the evening, I don't eat onions that day. I don't put them on my food because I know it would take a while for the onions to dissipate. And I don't want to smell like onions and I've taken a shower. That's just a little bit of info. I'm going to drop the link. Feel free to hit the link to give me your story about body odors. But I must say this week has been very interesting for the queen. Being at the mall, smelling that guy walking by with those stinky ass cow boots on, passing me twice. And then tonight, or last night rather, since it's a new day, coming out of the grocery store, checking out. And I passed at least 3 stinky ass men. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on this week with all these funky body odors? Why is everybody smelling so bad? I just don't do them. And I will put on deodorant periodically through the day. If I feel like I'm perspiring, I'll put a little dab on. And I may not even have an odor, but I feel like I want to combat anything I think might want to jump off. I can't do body odors. I just can't. I don't want anybody to ever say they smell me. That's Queen. Thanks for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $sign McGandy 129 Cash App. I'll super chat to welcome during the live. 43 viewing, not many, but that's okay. Thank you all for joining me. This is random conversation this evening. No true crime or foolishness tonight. Just a regular old topic. Change is good. But there are some men who like a musty woman. I do believe this. Because I have seen women with men, so I know that there are men who prefer stinky women. Because I've been around women who stink. They stunk. And they stunk more than once. And they had men or had company of men. So that means somebody likes it. Because for a man to come back, that means he likes smelling you. Somebody likes it. Thanks for joining me. Hit the link. Want to share a story of body odor. Thank you, so. Well, Beth, if you're talking about the person I'm talking about from school, everybody already knew. I don't know what you're referencing to. But I was already told that she had a disorder. She knew she smelled. That's how they knew she had a disorder. She had to have told it. I don't know if I put the right letter in. Let me make sure. Hold on a minute. So that's a U or W. W-N. Okay. Let me make sure. Hello, Kim. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining me. 40 viewing. Hit the link if you got a story about body odor you want to share with the chat. This is your opportunity to bring. Okay, so thanks a lot. Some people prefer to smell. As you heard, those famous people, they all had excuses why they didn't bathe or wash their hair. See, that's the thing about people. Here you have some famous people who don't want to bathe, wash their hair. Julia Roberts, Matthew McConaughey, Gwyneth Paltrow, the star from Twilight. They said he smelled. But I bet you never thought that when you're watching him in the movies, that guy up there doesn't like to wash his tail, doesn't like to wash his hair. I mean, his conversation didn't even make sense. Why would you want to wash your hair? Why not? What do you mean? You smell it, you should wash it. And even if you don't smell it, you know it's time to wash your hair. Everybody knows when it's time to wash their body parts. Some people go longer. I know as an African American, we grew up only washing our hair like once a week. That was just the thing with Black people. We didn't wash our hair often. But then when I became an adult, I washed my hair more often than once a week because you sweat. And I don't want to keep combing over sweaty hair. And I don't want to keep, curling over or flat ironing over a sweaty scalp. That don't work. And it doesn't style as good when it's not clean. That's just my personal opinion. Well, I've never had any problems with that. I don't know anything about head lice. Head lice or pubic lice or any of that. Queen don't know nothing about none of that. Thank you, Jesus. Well, it's a slow evening. I don't know anything about that, honey. And grateful. Let me see if my mod's up. Hold on. Good Lord, Cindy. I can't even think about having bugs in my hair. I cannot. I don't even know. Got a few viewing. If you got a story you want to share with us, hit the link. I've played you a couple of videos pertaining to body odor, causes, foods to avoid. And one woman sharing her story of having some type of disorder, which caused her to have a fishy smell in a private area. That's the sad information. Somebody in the chat wanted me to discuss body odor, so this was my topic. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, people who are not washing regular. And that's just a terrible thing because when you don't bathe, you can cause, damage to your skin. You don't put any moisture on your skin, such as lotion, oils. I don't care if you're white, black, Jew, Arab, Mexican, you need to have moisture on your skin. A lot of white people don't think they need moisture on their skin, but you do. You need to put lotion on your skin, oil on your skin to keep your skin moisturized. Yes, we all sweat. Your feet sweat, especially in summertime. You're wearing the same shoes a lot, feet out, flip-flops, that type of thing. Your feet are going to sweat. Sun beaming down on your toes. Socks that cause you to perspire. Some people do tend to sweat more in their feet than other parts of their bodies. So you're right. That's a good idea. Sprinkle your shoes with baking soda. Frankly, I'd put it on the bottom of my feet or in between my toes. Put you some foot powder in between your feet and under your feet. And then put on your socks or shoes. Oh my gosh. Please, Sandy, you're killing me. I think I watched a video on YouTube about 2 years ago or so, showing head lice in the eyebrows. Oh God, I thought I was going to die. I thought, who could not see lice bugs crawling in their eyebrows? Oh my goodness. That's not good. Oh, I don't want to think about it. I do not want to think about head lice. Or the other lice. Pubic lice. Of course, naturally, you know how you get that. Having skin-to-skin contact with another person that has lice, pubic lice, and hair lice as well. It can be transferred onto your clothing. Close contact. Now you got me itching. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, well, there's some people that have these problems. Head lice, pubic lice. Most germs and things come from being filthy. It's just the bottom line. You don't wash your body, you will have some type of problem. That's just it. Same thing with keeping your house. It's all the same. I believe that's how bed bugs are formed, from filth. You're not keeping yourself clean. You're not keeping your home clean. I'm already scratching, honey. Thinking about this is making me itch. Well, that's the sad information. It's a slow night tonight. Maybe I should have picked a more racier topic. But that's that. Largest pores are on the bottom of feet. Okay. Well, I go through things often, so I don't have a problem with keeping too much stuff. Even if I buy something, I get tired of it, I get rid of it. I don't keep stuff long. That's just something I don't do. I don't keep stuff long. And when you're in a smaller space, you just can't accumulate a lot. People do, but I don't advise it. Hello?
Hi, Queen. How you doing?
I'm good.
You were talking about body odors and stuff like that. And it took me back to, because I'm in California, you know, it gets pretty hot, especially I live out in the desert.
Oh, okay.
So we had a class, and it was like a big giant room, and there was one girl there, and she said that she didn't believe in wearing deodorant. And I could not believe that one person had that entire place smelling. I mean, it was stinking. And
Well, can you explain what type of class it was?
Medical. I was doing phlebotomy.
Oh, phlebotomy. Okay, phlebotomy class.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm sorry, but I have asthma and my breaths are too precious to me and air is too precious to me. This chick stink. And somebody need to get her up out of here. I said, because there's all these bodies in here and she stink.
Was she
I just
foreign?
have to say, huh?
Was she foreign?
She was foreign, but at the same time, she was really, really stinking. And I mean, it was loud. And even when I walked out of the area, because it was like a really big room, and I walked out, you could even smell her in the hall. So the principal walked by and he was like, what the blank is that smell? I said, her right there. So they were like, you are mean. I said, no, I'm asthmatic. Certain smells agitate me and it triggers me. So I have to let you know, if you stink, I'm going to say it, because you might smell a certain way and it'll trigger my breathing.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it will trigger me really bad, especially, I mean, I just couldn't understand how she.
So do you advise us? So if we pass anybody on the street stinking, you should just tell them they smell?
No, because I'm passing you. That's your business. I'm not sitting in a room with you and you are humming. Okay. I'm not sitting in a car
humming.
with
you. Oh my
you.
gosh, I'm dead.
And you humming.
I've never heard of that used before. Well, that terminology. Honey, she was humming. She was what? Singing.
Damn. Yeah, she was humming, like, for real. If you sitting in the car with me, because I had another situation with a friend, and I knew that she wasn't very clean, and she would come around and smell, and I would keep telling her, girl, you are too old to be smelling. And really? it was like she just, like, maybe a portion of her brain didn't develop or something, but she was a
how old was she at the time?
She was in her 20s.
Okay.
And I kept telling her, you stink, and the problem with her was, like, she would fool around. I'm trying to be careful what I say on your panel of respect.
Okay, that's
she would have body to body contact, and I'm like, well, didn't you shower after? Didn't you pay special attention after? Yeah. And she walked through my door, and it was loud, and then she was about to sit. I said, no, you can't. No, hold on. So I went and got me the plastic shopping bag, and I sat it down on my chair, and I told her, you could sit down now, but you
wait a minute. How good of a friend was she to you?
She was a friend. She wasn't a real good friend, but she was somebody that I often spoke to, but I would continue.
So when she came by your house, she just coming to visit? Did she visit often? What?
She visited often, but this particular day, she had just finished having skin-to-skin contact.
Okay, did she tell you? Well, listen, did she tell you she just had sex?
Yeah.
Wow.
She came to tell me about the guy that she had met.
And ain't watched her girlfriend.
Girl, she didn't watch nothing.
Oh no, you gotta watch your girlfriend. You don't go nowhere after that. If you want to lay around in your own house, that's your business.
Right.
But when you step outside, you need to, as Mama would say, you need to sponge off. You need to sponge off.
Get in the pool, jacuzzi, something.
Oh, I'm dead.
But she would wait until she left, and she would call me, and she go, you hurt my feelings. I said, well, you hurt my breathing. So we even, you should know better. Your mom should have taught you, after you, skin to skin contact, go, wash down.
Public. You don't go in public.
Right. You don't go to nobody's house. If you wanted to tell me about your escapade, you could have called me on the phone and saved me the problem.
Like, look, like you're gonna really get a visual because she's sitting there telling to you face to face.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna do nothing for me. And I tell everybody, whatever you do, I try to be careful, not to offend anybody. But if you stink, I don't know what it is about me, but it triggers me. If it's an offensive odor, it triggers me, and I have to get away. I have to tell you. I'll tell you in love, but if you keep coming around me doing the same thing, then I'm gonna have to, hey, you know what? I'm tired of you coming around me stinking. I don't spoke to you about it.
I just have a pet peeve about just down there. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just don't like sitting, even if I here at my own home and I've sweated and I felt like I've sweated. It could have been sweeping, mopping, anything. I still don't even want to sit down on my own bedding,
Right.
seats, thinking I would leave an odor, because a lot of people don't realize that when it's a rank odor,
Child.
you leave that behind and it don't just go away, especially when you're talking about cloth furniture, cloth seating. You've got to scrub that odor out.
Right.
And there's some people who have odors that you ain't going to scrub out.
Yeah, some of that stuff just don't come out at all.
No, they don't come out
at all, and it's nasty. And and what gets me is that they don't smell themselves, Queen. That's the part. And I'm like, you can't smell this. You smell like onions. Your armpits smell like onions. You can't smell this.
Did she eat a lot of onions? Do you know?
You know what? After a while, she had invited me over to her house, and when I went to her house, they opened the front door, and I looked in. I said, "I'll stand outside." I see why she was the way she was. That house was tore up from the floor up.
So what was it, cluttered?
It was dirty, cluttered, dusty, dirty, cluttered. It was horrible, and I'm like, I don't understand how. I don't know. With all the adults that was in that house, you mean to tell me not one person can pick up behind themselves?
Yeah, that's something I don't agree with. That a lot of people living in a house, somebody ought to be telling somebody else, "Hey, you need to pick up."
Ooh, Soul Survivor said some people cover their smell with perfume. Ooh, girl, I would be sick as a dog.
That's another story I have for you. Last year I spent in school before I didn't return. I had a roommate. She was Haitian, but she was from New York, and she ran track. And I'm telling you, she was a thin girl. She was not a heavyset young lady at all. Because a lot of people think when people are overweight, they smell, worse or badly than a smaller person. That's not true. You can be any size and have a really rank ass body odor. Well, anyway, she was much smaller than me. And I couldn't understand how somebody would have a body that little could have such a rank ass body odor. She would take a shower, come in, still same, funky. And she had the nerve to wear Red Door. Everybody knows that is the most pungent perfume on the market. It is an older perfume, 30 plus years old or more. It's a very old perfume, but it's very strong. It's more like an older lady's perfume to me. You put on that Red Door with a funky underarm smell, baby. I thought my room was on fire, my dorm room. Do you hear me? It was like flames coming out of the wall.
Oh, Lord, child.
And I'm telling you, the smell was outrageous. But eventually, I had no choice but to deal with it until school was over. But she got a note. Somebody had put a bird in her ear. She asked me about it and said, "Do you know anything about this body odor I allegedly have?" And I was just looking at her like, "No, I don't know anything about it."
Right.
My thing is, why should I have to tell you you smell and you're grown?
That's my thing.
Now, somebody might have told me I should have because she was my roommate. Well, my thing is, I didn't choose her for my roommate.
Right.
Administration put her in my room. You understand? I was in the room first.
My baby wanted to say hi to you. Hold on. Okay. He's driving me crazy. Say hi.
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 What you doing?
It's running my mouth. How old is the baby?
He's 3.
He's 3. Oh, he's little.
He'd be 4 on April Fool's Day.
Okay, well, happy birthday.
What's that?
She said happy birthday. He keep talking about Wednesday and he going to Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, now you got a chance
he getting ready.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to holler at you real quick because everybody about to get noisy.
I thank you. I thank you for coming up because nobody wanted to hit the link.
I love your content. I just wanted to let you know I love watching you. I think you are amazing. I love how you keep it real. I love how you don't play games. I love it. I'll be in the background watching you. You are real good at what you do.
Yeah, because it's a while I hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I've been working and doing different stuff.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with us.
He said bye-bye.
Bye, baby. Happy birthday.
All right.
Yeah, the word humming is too funny. Well, is your name Siani or Shiani? Why don't you come up here and hit the link, since you're the reason I made this video. You suggested it the other day, so why don't you hit the link and give us a story about body odor? Why not? Share with us. Woo, yes, but it is true. Some people cover, yes, with cologne. A lot of foreign people will do that, wear perfume, you know, because a lot of people come from countries where washing was not prevalent. So they're carrying those customs with them to other foreign lands and to the United States. But here we promote cleanliness, some of us anyway. Washing hair, washing body, clipping toenails, fingernails, pedicures, manicures, eyebrow tweezing, waxing, hair waxing, body waxing, all of that. Because sometimes, you know, you just got to do what you got to do. And everybody knows, too, the hairier you are, you will probably sweat more, whether you're a male or a female. That's another thing to talk about. Hairy people. I might have to do another video on that. There are a lot of women who are very hairy. They have hairy legs, hairy arms, hairy armpits, pubic hair. And anybody knows that the more hair you have on your body, the more you will perspire. You sweat. That's going to be even worse. And that, to me, is just, I don't think I can handle that. I thank God I do not have a lot of hair on my body. God has been good to the queen. I don't even have to shave my legs, arms, or anything. I don't really have any hair on my legs. There's like little pricks of hair that I have on my legs. I don't have to shave. I never had to shave growing up. So God was blessed me in that department. I didn't have to shave. I opened the windows just to let the stink out, even in the winter. Yes, you should open your windows in the winter. So get out odors. Because when you run the heat all day, every day, the room becomes stifling. Especially if you turn your heat up very high. And a lot of elderly people have their thermostats turned up. And then you counting cooking, body odor, you're sloughing off dead skin cells, dead skin. You need to fumigate all year round. That's why we here in the South, we love open doors. We put screen doors up in front of our doors to air out our homes. That's just a Southern thing. Maybe they do that in other parts of the United States, warmer climates such as Florida, Arizona, you know, Texas, Louisiana, South Carolina. But that is a known staple here in the South. We are screen door lovers here. We love fresh air. We love the sun. We love windows cracked, pulled up when the weather is nice, to air out our homes, let fresh air in, get some of the odors out. And I will tell anybody, you want to air your house out really well, besides body sprays and incense, open a damn window. Just open a window. You'd be surprised how quick the odors will leave, especially when you've dusted, mopped, swept, changed all the linen, then open the window. Oh, you Gucci. Clean the windowsill around the windowsill, wipe it down real good, open the window so you won't have any dust flowing around with the window up. You'd be surprised how quick the room will air itself out and you will have a nice, clean, mellow smell in your home. That's sad information. Anybody else want to join us and hit the link, share us a story, a body odor story? We're all ears. Now, the one in the chat that wanted this video, she's not hitting the link. You should be the first one up here sharing a story, Miss Lady. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, well, all year spring cleaning for the queen. I don't do junk clutter. So that's how I live. I go through things every few months. I go through all my personal items, makeup bowls, clean everything out, throw away old lipstick, anything that just need to be revamped. And I will tell you, the less stuff you have, the easier your house will be to maintain. Because the more stuff you have, the more moving around you have to do. Bumping into stuff, this and that. It's just easier when you have less things. Thanks for putting that StreamYard up there, because I was putting it up there again. Thank you, so. Yeah, well, very true. But some people who don't like to clean, my advice to you is not to have a lot of stuff. Don't accumulate a lot of stuff. I mean, it is very helpful. If you're the type you don't like cleaning a lot, you don't like wiping stuff down a lot, you don't have a lot of stuff. The least amount of stuff you have, it's easier as far as maintaining. Now, naturally, eventually, you're going to have to wipe down something. You're going to have to wipe down your electronics, your TVs. You're going to have to dust, mop, sweep. That's just inevitable. Eventually, you're going to have to. But I always say the less stuff on the walls, less pictures, knickknacks on the walls. Don't put a lot of little small stuff on the wall. That attracts dust. Naturally, stuff on tables, bookshelves and all that. Worst thing to ever have. Bookshelves and all that. I don't do none of that kind of stuff. I don't want that stuff. I don't want no bookshelf. I don't want to look at a book. We're in modern day now. You don't have to have all that stuff now because everything is digital. As far as movies, books on audio, you don't have to buy that stuff anymore. Books, magazines, papers, newspapers. It's a waste of time. I don't like a lot of junk. If it was left up to me, if I could have my life streamlined, it would be just like a hotel room. Just like a hotel. The counters are clear. Only have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not a whole lot of stuff. But when you're in a smaller space, you have to make do with the space that you have. But I read somewhere once, probably several months ago, it was probably a home decorating channel. The lady was saying, only put 3 items on a kitchen counter. So that, if you got a toaster, microwave, coffee maker, that's it. Don't put nothing else up there. And, a lot of people live in apartments and studios, so they can't have a lot of stuff on the counters because they don't have any counter space, So you have to make do with what you have. But it is true. The least amount of stuff you have, it's just easier living. Less to clean, wipe down, stumble over, trip over. It's just true. If you have everything neat in its place, hung on hangers, dresser drawers, shoe caddies, shoe bags on the back of the door, because I don't like shoes on the floor. I don't like shoes. That's a pet peeve of mine too. I don't like shoes on the floor. I don't like shoes in the closet floor. I don't want to bend down and pick up nothing. That's just quaint. I'm getting old. I don't want to do nothing extra. I want the shoes on the damn door. So I can go reach and pull my shoes off the shoe bag. Because as you start getting a whole lot of stuff, accumulating stuff, do you really want to be digging in tubs for shoes, digging under the bed for a shoe, digging down in the closet floor for a shoe? No, you're not going to want to do that. So sometimes you have to streamline because a lot of people like to shop. I've been shopping here lately. I bought some new sandals for summer. And they're right now in a plastic carrying bag because there's nowhere to put them. Because I'd have to, like I said, put them in the floor, which I don't want to do that just yet. So I may have to try to double them up on this shoe bag that's hanging up on my door, my bedroom door. But I don't like stuff on the floor because you get dust on the floor and then you leave your shoes out on the floor or under the bed, then now your shoes are going to be dusty. Just a little queen advice. Thank you all for joining me. This video is about body odors. I brought you commentary pertaining to foods to avoid, ailments that can cause body odor, breath odor, hygiene odor, hygiene disorders. And also one woman sharing her story with having a fishy smell. Well, yeah, that's an old rule. You bring something in, at least 2 items need to go out. That makes sense. You go buy some new sandals, bring a new pair of sandals in, at least another pair should go out. A pair of 2 should go out. So I got new sandals that's got like little wedges on the heels because I'm not supposed to be wearing flat sandals. So I'm looking on my door right now as I talk. And there's some shoes that probably need to be donated to the thrift store. Because I'm not supposed to be wearing flat sandals or flat shoes, period. But I've got quite a few pair of ballerina slippers. I got a black pair, pink pair. Then I've got, I think, 2 leopard pair, and then one that's kind of like a alligator print. And I love them, but I'm not supposed to be wearing them. So says I'm a minimalist. Okay. So you never talk. Why don't you hit the link? You never hit the link. Let the queen hear you. So I know if I buy a blouse, I have to get rid of one. Okay. Stops me from buying. Oh, that makes sense. No, I have flat feet and I have plantar fasciitis, and that's what's caused the plantar fasciitis is wearing flip-flops. It's ruined my feet to where I have sharp pain under my feet. I have to wear shoes with support. So I tell anybody, you don't want to get your feet messed up, and wearing flip-flops and you don't have an arch in your foot, it will mess your feet up. So find a shoe with a wedge or a small wedge, you know. Even if it's a casual shoe, let it have just a little bit of a heel on it. This is not conducive wearing flat shoes. They don't recommend it for people that don't have arches in their foot. I don't talk much. I'm better at listening. Well, Soul, I've never heard you, so I'd like to hear you. You can jump on and say hello. Saying hi, never heard anybody. Because I have heard all my mods speak. Yeah, most people don't listen. Yeah, a lot of people that follow the queen don't listen. It's obvious. All you have to do is watch the lives. And the people that come up on the panel, you realize nobody ever listens to the content. They don't pay attention to details. They don't pay attention to what's being said. They don't listen at anything. They'll come right in and ask you what you're talking about, and there's a title on the videos. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, I got a habit sometimes of going in the queue, opening stuff, and I don't finish the whole video, and I go ahead and comment. And I told myself, no, don't comment until you listen to all of the content. Because you might ask a question that's being answered in the video, and then people go crazy saying, they already said what happened, blah, blah, blah. You know, people get ripe. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea, dear. Well, switch to your phone. All you're doing is saying hello. Just say hi. I'm already an hour and 13 minutes in. I'll probably end this live because people are not really conversating much. Nobody's coming up to say hello, so I won't hold everybody. It's already 1 in the morning here. Well, nobody has anything to say. Thank you, Sandy. Hello, Grammy. How are you? Welcome, everybody. And I'm sorry I didn't wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day yesterday. It slipped my mind totally. And then when I went back for the last live, I meant to say it and I forgot. Well, oh, okay, together. That's fine. Thank you, Grammy. I'm just scrolling through the queue, seeing what's out there. Not much. Well, that's the gist of the story pertaining to body odors, everybody. Some people like them, some don't. Some people date people with them, marry them, procreate, teach their children to be little nasty heathens. It is what it is. I personally try to keep a very clean body, hair, home, linen, all of that. I don't like odors. I don't like odors. And you have to, because that's what helps keep you from getting germs, bugs, bed bugs, roaches, lice, all of that. Cooties, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. And people wonder how they get head lice and pubic lice and bed bugs, roaches, because you don't keep yourself clean. You don't keep a clean body, you're not going to keep a clean house. It all goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. It's just like living in a nasty house where you don't clean, wash, mop, sweep, and you take a shower and you step out into filth. Well, how are you clean if you're in a nasty house and you just took a shower? It's all the same thing. Can't have one without the other. But that's the gist of the story. Happy weekend to all of you. I'm going to go ahead and check out of here because it's a little slow in the chat and the panel, rather. Nobody likes hitting the panel for some weird reason. I don't really understand what's the problem, but it's very odd to me. I bring you this StreamYard so you all can have a chance to give your opinion, voice your opinion, talk, share your ideas, concerns. But as I've said, I've learned it just doesn't work. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. If you want to donate to the channel, $BeganJu129 Cash App. Thank you together for coming up, sharing your story. You all stay safe, and it'll probably be warm in certain states. Be careful and safe out there. Find you something nice to do and relax. Take a walk, a hike, but be safe. Beware of your surroundings. Mind the children. And you all have a wonderful, safe weekend. Thank you, Grammy. God bless all of you. Thank you, mods. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.